Hello friends! In this video, I'm going to show you how to make one of the cutest little clovers you ever did see. This is super cute to make for St. Patty's Day or any day that you just feel like you need a little luck in your life. This project seriously only takes about 20 minutes to make, and you can get really creative by adding a little bow or a bow tie or stringing a little piece of ribbon through it to hang it. You can get the pattern on my blog linked below, or you can purchase a pretty printable PDF in my Etsy shop linked down below as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of these crochet along videos. Now let's get started with what you need for this project. First, you'll need a size 6 chunky blanket yarn in green. And then you'll need a little bit of pink for the mouth, and you might want another color for a little bow. And then, of course, you might want ribbon to hang your little clover. You'll also need a couple of safety eyes. These are 10 millimeter, and then just a tiny bit of stuffing, and a little yarn needle, scissors, and a size J hook. And that is about it. So I'm just going to put all of this stuff aside and then we can get started. So we're going to start out with our green, and we're going to just make a little slip knot to attach the yarn to our hook. And then we're just going to chain 2. Here's 1 and a 2. Now in the second chain from the hook, we're going to put 5 single crochets. Here's 1 single crochet and 2 single crochets and 3 single crochets. Here's 4 single crochets and 5. Now we're just going to find the very first single crochet that we made, and we're going to slip stitch into it. Just like this. And if you find that your center little hole opened up a little bit, just give your tail of your yarn a little tug. Not too hard, you don't want to break it, but just a little tug should close up the center of your circle. Now for round 2, we're going to chain 1. And we're going to put 2 single crochets in each of your little single crochets around. So there's 2 in the first one. Here's a 1 and a 2 in the second one. Here's a 1 and a 2 in the third one. So we've got 6 now. Here's a 7 and an 8. And here's our last 2, 9. And a 10. And once again, we're going to find our very first little single crochet, and we're just going to slip stitch right into it to close up our circle. Now we're going to finish this off just by cutting our yarn and weaving in our ends, because we are finished with this little circle. This is actually going to be the back of our clover, the back of his little face, so the back of his head. So go ahead and just weave in your yarns, and then you're going to repeat those first 2 rounds. So go back, you can rewind or start back at the beginning of this little tutorial so that you can do these first 2 rounds with me. But once you finish them, do not cut your yarn and finish it off. So you're going to have one circle that you've cut your yarn and finished it all in. Then you're going to make another circle and leave it on your hook. So once you've got that done, you should be right here with me with 1 circle done and 1 circle still attached to your hook. Now for this round, we're going to be working in the back loops only, and we're going to be working through both of our circles. So when you flip your other circle over, you're going to put wrong sides together, and your back loop is going to be closest to you. So you're going to insert your hook into the back loop only of your working circle, and then back loop only of the back circle. And you're going to yarn over and just pull through all 3 of those loops to make a little slip stitch and to connect those circles together. Now, in the next one, you're going to insert your hook into the back loop only, and then back loop only of your other circle, and you're going to slip stitch. And now in that same space, you're going to do a chain 4 and a triple crochet still in that same space. So yarn over, insert your hook, draw up a loop, yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over, draw through 2, and still in that same space, a double crochet, and then a triple crochet still in that same space, triple crochet, and then you're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then still in that same space, slip stitch. And you've just completed one little clover petal on your clover. Now you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, back loop to back loop, yarn over, slip stitch, and now into the next one, we're going to make another clover petal. So all in this next stitch, we're going to do a slip stitch, and then chain 4, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, yarn over for your triple crochet still in that same space. Oh, it's hard to get through all those layers. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, and now a double crochet still in that same space. Double crochet, and now triple crochet, yarn over, triple crochet, and then we'll do our chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and slip stitch still all in that same little space. And then slip stitch into the next one. So back loop of your front circle, back loop of your back circle, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and then into the next space, we're going to make another little clover. So insert your hook into the back loop only to back loop only, yarn over, pull through all 3, and staying in that same space, we're going to chain 4, then triple crochet, still in that same space, and then double crochet in the same space, and then triple crochet in that same little space. And then you're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then slip stitch down into that same space. And we have another little clover done. We're going to slip stitch into the next space. And now we're going to loosen up our loop a little bit, because before we put our next clover on, we need to put our little face on our little clover, or before we put the next clover petal on, because we need to be able to have the little clover still open a little bit so we can get our fingers in there to put our eyes on and all of that. So grab your little safety eyes and your pink yarn so that you can put a little mouth on him. And I think I'm going to use the light pink. I think that looks cute. So now the eyes, you kind of have to look at your clover and think about where your next little clover petal is going to go. And it's going to go directly across from the one on the right there. And you've got your round 1 and your round 2 of the original circle. And the eyes are going to go in between round 1 and round 2. So I place them kind of on the bottom half of the circle. So kind of under round 1 and above round 2, if that makes sense. And I just kind of visualize where that next petal is going to go. But see how I've got to put the backs of the eyes on? That's why we want to be able to do that before we put that other petal on. Otherwise, our fingers would not fit in that tiny space. So there we go. Just mash those little safety eyes on there. And then we get to put our little mouth on. And the mouth I put kind of below the eyes, centered in between them. Almost, it's still in between rows 1 and row 2, but it's under the eyes because it's on the lower part of the circle. So I hope that makes sense, but you'll be able to see where I'm putting it. And really though, this is all totally up to you, however you want to make your face look. And sometimes it's hard. It takes me a minute to see exactly how I can get it centered. Do I need to go directly over a stitch? Do I need to go in between 2 stitches? So it takes a little minute, but you just kind of fiddle with it. And really the way that you do it is what makes it cute, and it doesn't have to be exactly perfect because he's a cute little clover, not a perfectly symmetrical little clover. And his cute little crooked smile, I think, is what makes him extra adorable. So once you've got the mouth in a place that you like it, you can just kind of flip it inside out so that you can tie a knot on the back. So I'm trying to make sure I like where it is before I tie it, and I think this is good. So once you found the right placing, just tie it up, and then you can push your yarn ends in there. And now you can put your hook back into your working loop, and we're going to make our last petal. So you're going to put your hook into the back loop only of your front circle and the back loop of your back circle, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops for a slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do our triple crochet in that same place where we just made that little slip stitch. Yep, there we go. Triple crochet. And then next we'll do our double crochet in that same spot. And then our triple crochet once again in the same spot. And then we'll chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then slip stitch back down into that same spot. And now we need to slip stitch into the next little space, but before we do, I'm going to grab my stuffing, and you only need a tiny bit because it's like the tiniest little circle ever. You might even be able to just use a little cotton ball. Or a little extra yarn. You really don't need much in there, but this just makes our clover a little squishier and softer and fluffier. So get whatever you want to put in there to stuff him and put it in there. And now we're going to finish that little slip stitch in the next space. Back loop to back loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. Now we're going to make the stem of our clover. So to do that, we're going to find the next little spaces, the back loop to back loop, yarn over, slip stitch, and now we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now in the second chain from our hook, we're going to do a single crochet, and then we're going to single crochet in the next 5 chains. So here's 1 and 2, here's 3 and 4. Oh, 4 and 5. And now we're going to slip stitch one more time. This should be the last little stitches we've got to close up on our clover. Back loop to back loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and now our cute little clover is all closed up. So now we can pull out our little loop and cut our yarn and weave in our ends because we are all finished. So now you just want to grab your little yarn needle and weave in your end, and then you can add a little extra to your clover if you like. You can add a little bow to her hair or a little bow tie to his neck, or you can add a little ribbon through the top of it so that you can hang it somewhere, whatever you like. And I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you have fun making adorable little clovers for all of your friends for St. Patrick's Day. Maybe you can hang one from the rear view mirror of your car or wherever you just want a cute little lucky decoration. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!